Welcome to Let's Grow Therapy. Let's talk about the factors that contribute to disorganized attachment. So, disorganized attachment is categorized by a level of neglect that the child received when they were growing up. And neglect is a very intense word. For disorganized, there is a range of neglect. So, first off, the extreme would be emotional neglect to the point of abuse. More commonly, what we see with disorganized attachment is a level of emotional neglect that comes from stressors on the household, where parents are unable to be predictable in their emotional responses towards their child. And that is due to a variety of things. Parents get stressed out. They have a lot of mental and emotional load on them. They have a lot of things going on that can prohibit them from being emotionally consistent. It's not an excuse, it's just an explanation for why a parent might not be able to always be one kind of responsive towards their child. For kids, that means that you can become very aware that mom and dad aren't always going to act the way that you expect them to, and that can be very disorienting. So for instance, if you skinned your knee on the playground and you came home and told mom, maybe she was really cuddly, maybe she was really warm and comforting and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that this happened. Are you okay?" And then 2 weeks later, you skin your knee on the playground again. And you come home and this time mom is stressed out. She's in the middle of something. She's paying bills. She is emotionally dysregulated. And when you say, "I've hurt myself," mom doesn't respond in the nice, warm, cuddly way. Mom then instead responds with, "How did this happen? You just need to handle it yourself. Go get a Band-Aid from the bathroom," and you feel dismissed. Children do not receive the information that allows them to understand why mom and dad would react in a certain way. And gentle parenting has been really positive in the sense that there's an increase in explanation for kids as to why mom and dad did react a certain way. But in previous parenting styles, that wasn't always the case. So as a kid, you think that you're going to get one response and then you get another. And it doesn't make any sense. You're not sure why mom was really cuddly and now she's really standoffish. And as a result, you feel uncertain about how your parent is going to care for you. What begins then to happen is children become hypervigilant about their environment. So they begin to watch mom and dad and they say, "Okay, I will read my parents' signals. And based on those signals, I will decide what I want to emotionally share with them or not." So that can look like listening for the way that your parent closes the door when they come home from work, or paying attention to a parent's body language when they are around you. It's a very empathic attachment style. Most people with disorganized do end up feeling like they are empaths. They can say, "I can sense a vibe in a room very quickly. I can feel when it changes." In adulthood, what begins to happen is we read our partner's signals as opposed to reading how we really feel in a relationship. And this is because one of the factors that contributes to disorganized attachment is nervous system dysregulation. So when you are a kid and you're living in an environment of hypervigilance, even if it is a stable household where you grew up in a genuinely good environment, the emotional unpredictability can make you feel unstable and unsafe. And as a result, your nervous system is basically living in a high state of hypervigilance/fear. And what begins to happen is the nervous system learns how to operate at that heightened sensation. It never really feels calm. With disorganized attachment, you can see that there is an uptick in anxiety. There is an uptick in a very strong kind of, how do I say this? A very strong anxiety around where are we going? What are we doing? Who are we going to be with? There's a need for information in order for a child to feel safe. In adulthood, a dysregulated nervous system can feel safe in a relationship, especially in the beginning, if a partner is predictable. But that does not necessarily mean that your nervous system actually does feel safe. It simply means that you are reading your partner's signals above your own. And something that's very common with disorganized attachment is how we suppress our nervous systems in order to kind of take on our partners, regardless of what it is, whether they are anxious, avoidant, or disorganized. We learn how to read their signals more than we tune into our own. And it is always in reaction. So every emotional response is not necessarily your authentic response. It's always in reaction to somebody else's. So the way to heal disorganized attachment is to actually go back and figure out how to make yourself feel safe in your own body, in your own mental and emotional spaces, without needing to read the environment around you to such the high degree that you previously were. It takes effort to heal disorganized attachment. And the other aspect to this is there is a portion of healing that needs to occur in partnership, and finding a securely attached partner can be incredibly difficult because with disorganized, we feel better dating somebody who is either anxious, avoidant, or disorganized because it's familiar to us. The nervous system responds to things that are familiar in a calmer manner than it does to new things when we are dysregulated. And having that awareness and understanding, like, okay, this feels very, very familiar, but perhaps this is not what I want my relationship to feel like. And I don't want to be walking on eggshells, and I don't want to be hypervigilant about my partner's reactions, and I don't want to have to suppress my own emotional processing until I feel like it's the right time to tell them something. When we come into that awareness, that's where we go back and we do the nervous system work, and we can say, how do I actually create safety and stability in myself first and foremost? So that way I can then attract a partner or heal with my current partner and create a sense of safety that lowers my hypervigilance, lowers my anxiety, and creates cohesive emotional responses that I did not get in childhood. I hope that answers your question. If it does not, let me know.